It was during the grim and weary days that followed the First Tumbleton, when the air itself seemed to crackle with the smoke and stench of war. The merchant cog Nessaria, a tired old vessel of Volantine make, had been driven far from her course by a squall that had torn through the narrow sea like a Dothraki arrak. She limped towards the dark, brooding shores of Dragonstone, seeking refuge and repair from the storm's cruel embrace. The ship's crew, a superstitious lot, spoke in hushed tones of the two great dragons they had seen, battling fiercely in the skies above the smoking peak of the Dragonmont, their roars echoing across the waves. They told tales of great beasts locked in a lethal embrace, their scales glittering like obsidian shards in the twilight. The local fishermen of Dragonstone, their souls still stirred by the ancient tales of the dragon lords of old Valyria, took their skiffs out the next morning, seeking the truth of the sailors' claims. They found the grim wreckage of the grey ghost near the base of the mountain, its grey-white hide, once as pale as a morning mist, now blackened and broken. Its neck was torn asunder, and a single gnarled horn lay shattered on the jagged rocks, a silent testament to a violent end. Sir Robert Quince, the grim-faced castellan of Dragonstone, declared the deed to be the work of the Cannibal, a great, scarred beast of unknown origin that had long hunted the peaks of Dragonmont, preying on other dragons, and even their riders. He was a creature of legend, a shadow in the mountains that all feared, and none dared name. Yet Robert's claim was a falsehood, a lie spun from ignorance. The true slayer of the grey ghost was none other than Sunfyre, the golden dragon of King Aegon II, a beast so magnificent he was often called the most beautiful dragon in all of Westeros. Sunfyre's scales gleamed like hammered gold, his horns and claws were polished obsidian, and his wings, vast and leathery, were the colour of sun-scorched parchment. It was this magnificent beast who had found his rider, the broken and beaten King Aegon, who had been smuggled to Dragonstone by the cunning Lord Larys Strong, and hidden from the clutches of his half-sister, Rhaenyra Targaryen. The bond between rider and dragon was a deep and powerful one, and together they nursed their wounds and regained their strength in the seclusion of the Dragonmont. Meanwhile, Aegon's loyalists, a network of spies and sympathizers, found allies among the locals. The smallfolk of Dragonstone, long suffering under the harsh rule of Rhaenyra's castellan, Sir Robert, were all too willing to turn against their queen for a promise of a kinder lord. The assault on Dragonstone was swift and brutal. The castle, undermanned and ill-prepared, fell like a stone. Sir Robert Quince was slain by Ser Alfred Broome, a disgraced knight who had hoped to be named castellan by Rhaenyra, but was spurned, and his anger was a cold fire. In the chaos, Lady Baela Targaryen, the daughter of Daemon Targaryen, attempted to escape on her young she-dragon, Moondancer. Moondancer was a slender, elegant creature, her scales a pale, ethereal green that shimmered like moonlight on a summer lake. She was not a large beast, but she was fast, a blur of motion against the grey stone of the castle walls. The duel in the sky was a tragic spectacle. Sunfyre, with his bulk and experience, was a force of nature. He unleashed a torrent of golden flame, blinding Moondancer in a flash of heat and light. The younger dragon, her wings flailing, as she and her rider tumbled from the sky like two broken birds. The two beasts crashed to the ground in a tangle of limbs and teeth. Sunfyre, battered but victorious, stood over the broken form of the pale she-dragon. The battle had taken its toll, however. King Aegon the Elder, despite reclaiming his seat, had his legs broken in the chaos, and Lady Baela, burned and battered, was taken captive. The Iron Throne, the prize for which all men schemed and all dragons burned, had been won. But the cost was more than any man could bear.